Hello, Celia. Bonjour. Hello, Serena. Thank you. Hello, Anas. And hello. Hello, Ferdus. I need just a few minutes to get my notes together for today's live stream. Just give me a moment, please. Hello, Rogue. Celia, today I'm going to mostly be talking about etymology, which means where English words come from. And since you're French, that should be good for you because 30% of English words come from French. But I think I'm gonna try something a little different today. I'm going to focus more on idioms, teaching you some English idioms, and I'll teach you the stories of where the idioms come from. And if you know where the stories come from, then they're interesting and you'll be able to remember them. But I may also talk about some French words and their French origins. Hello, everyone. Hello, Hema. How's everyone doing? Hello, Assalam Dahir. I'm good. How are you? Welcome back. Hello, Armenian girl. And Hani, hello. Am I still playing music? Do you mean, do I still play music on my live streams? Sometimes, yes. Hello, Lily. Kevin, recently I've been doing my music either at the end of my live stream only, or I just do a separate live stream for music. So, we may as well get started. There's not too many people here yet, but we may as well get started. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to be teaching about English idioms today. Hello, my name is Teacher Mark. If you don't know me, hi. I am an American English teacher from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I've been on Hello Talk for more than 10 years. And I have about 68,000 followers here. And I like to teach. So let's do some teaching, shall we? So let's start. Celia, I speak English and I speak Chinese, and I know a little bit about a bunch of other languages, but just a little bit. Okay, have you guys ever heard of the English idiom "mad as a hatter"? He's mad as a hatter. You guys know that one? So, to be mad as a hatter means you're pretty crazy. You're crazy, you're uncontrolled, you're just wild, too crazy. Okay? And what do you guys think what's a hatter? Hatter. What is a hatter? Anyone? Hello, Ruslin. Good to see you. What's the difference between come and come up? We're not doing that today, man. Today I'm teaching my lessons. You got to follow me today, okay? Ruslin, what's the word you need clarified? Send me a message maybe and I can clarify it for you. Rapid, everyone wants to go to America. It is a wonderful place, but it's extremely expensive. It's extremely expensive. And, yeah. So, anyway. Hello, Ahmad. Wa alaikum assalam. Hello, Juan Jose. Good to see you. Okay, so a hatter, everyone. A hatter. Let's get back to the topic today. A hatter is a person who makes hats. A person who makes hats. Like, I'm a teacher. Teacher. So sometimes in English, if the word ends in ER, ER means a person who does that thing. So a teacher is someone who teaches. A hatter is someone who makes hats. Okay? But a long time ago, when they made hats, they often used to use this substance called mercurous nitrate. Mercurous nitrate which basically means Mercury. Do you guys know what Mercury is? Kata Sharif, what's the problem? Why are you angry? I don't know you. So what are you mad about? Do you have something you want to say, Kata Sharif? I don't know you, so why are you upset? What's your problem? Yeah, bye, Felicia is right. Bye, Felicia. Here's an idiom. Bye, Felicia. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't like the U.S. Whatever. I don't love the U.S. There are things about the U.S. I don't like. But guess what? The one thing I like about the U.S. more than anything else is that I can talk about how I don't like it. I can talk about how it's expensive and I hate the politics here and we have a lot of ignorant, stupid people who don't want to learn. That doesn't mean it's not a great place. It is a great place. There are a lot of things that are great here, but no place is perfect. And the question was, do I think it's an amazing place to visit? Sure. If you have a lot of money, it's great. But let's get back to talking about idioms. So thank you. Anyway, mad as a hatter is a phrase that means to be crazy, to be out of control, to be wild. And it comes because a long time ago when they used to make hats, they used to use a substance called mercurous nitrate, which had mercury in it. And mercury is very, very, very poisonous. So the man whose job was to make hats, every day he had to touch mercury, and they didn't know that it was poisonous. So eventually they became crazy because it gave them brain damage from the mercury. Okay? And so if you touch mercury a lot every day, you're going to become crazy because of the brain damage. So you become mad as a hatter. Okay? So there you go. That's what mad as a hatter means. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting, idiom. That's right. He's out of his mind. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to another one. How about this one? Fly by the seat of your pants. Yes, this live stream is also on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and follow me there if you want to. It's right here. Here's my YouTube channel. So what does fly by the seat of your pants mean? Like Freddie Mercury? Well, in that case, that was just his stage name. But yes, same Mercury. Thank you, Angela. And Angela, you forgot to send me a private message so I could help you personally. You didn't, I don't think you did. I looked at my messages and I didn't see a private message. So send me a private message so I can give you a free lesson because you are so helpful to me. So, to fly by the seat of your pants means to do something without instruction, or you're doing it with your instinct. You're doing it just by instinct. Let's put it that way. That's a better way to put it. Okay? So nobody's telling you what to do. You don't have an instruction booklet. You're just doing it by instinct. Okay? To fly by the seat of your pants. And where does this one come from? This idiom comes from early planes. When they used to fly planes a long time ago, well, let me show you a picture. Okay, so can you see this woman who's flying the plane here? Okay, look at that plane. There are not many instruments. There's not a lot that they have that they know how to fly, like what to do. There's not many instruments to tell them anything about flying, right? Today, planes have so many instruments on them to help you fly, right? But a long time ago, if you were flying a plane, sometimes you would get up really high in the air and you're in the clouds and you can't see anything. And if the air is also very thin, it's hard to breathe, you can't see. So they used to fly by instinct only. They used to fly by instinct only because they couldn't see anything in front of them. There was just clouds there. Right? But the one thing that they could do is they could feel the plane. They could feel the engine of the plane, which vibrated through the seat, right? So to fly by the seat of your pants means you can't see anything. You have no way to know what's in front of you. The only way that you have any idea what's going on is by feeling the vibration of the plane in the air. So that's what we call flying by the seat of your pants. Instinct means to do something with your inner feelings, right? You're guiding yourself by your feelings. I think I should do this. I'm not sure, but I think. Okay? So that's flying by the seat of your pants. That's right. The main tool of the pilot is his ass. That's right, Johnny. Yeah. So flying by the seat of your pants means you're doing something by instinct. You have no instructions. You don't have any guidebook. You're just doing it with your own sense of, oh, well, I think I should do this. You know, that's called flying by the seat of your pants. That's a good one. Thank you, Mona. Hello, Mike. Howjo Bujan? Well, Hossein, a long time ago, there was no co-pilot. A long time ago, there was no co-pilot. There was just a pilot. There was only enough room for one person. They flew the plane. That's it, just a pilot. So when they fly, they have to just do it by instinct if they can't see because they're in the clouds. Okay? So there's another good idiom, to fly by the seat of your pants. Okay? Maybe you're taking a test and you're completely unprepared for your test and you just decide, I'm going to take it and do the best I can. You're flying by the seat of your pants. Okay? You're flying by the seat of your pants. Okay, what about this? The time is ripe. The time is ripe. What does the time is ripe mean? I'm teaching about English idioms. It's the right time to do something. Yeah. So the time is ripe. What that means is if you have an apple, right? If you're growing apples, you have an apple tree, and the apples are ripe, you should pick them when they're ripe. If you wait too long, then the apples, they spoil, they become rotten. Tomatoes, if you grow tomatoes, if you wait too long, they spoil and they become rotten. So when you say the time is ripe, it means you should do it now. You should do it now. Don't wait too long. It's ready to do now. Okay? That's the time is ripe. Okay, that's a good one. We use that for anything when you're talking about something that you should do now. The time is ripe. Okay? Patrizio, if you want an answer to that question, why don't you send me a private message and I'll try to answer it. Robin, I'm drinking iced coffee, what I always drink. The time is ripe. Well, yeah, Hossein. But if you save up for a long time, that doesn't necessarily mean the time is ripe. The time is ripe if the circumstances are right now, right? So you can save up for a long time, and that's good. But you're right. If the market is at its best point, now the time is ripe. Okay? So it's when an opportunity is best done. Right? The time that an opportunity is best done is the ripe time. Okay? Hello, Carolina. Hello, Tian Fang Ling. Yeah, Liam, there are many English idioms or other idioms from other languages that are similar in Chinese, right? Every language, we have similar idioms, many of them, okay? Thank you, Robin. Okay, let's do another one. Burning the midnight oil. Burning the midnight oil. What does that mean? Hello, chilling in love. Hello, Miguel. Good morning, my friend. How are you? What does burning the midnight oil mean? That's right, Patricio. The time is not ripe for your question. Yeah, it means staying up late to work. Okay, and the reason why we call it burning the midnight oil is because before we had electric lights, people used oil candles, right? Oil lamps, we'll call them, oil lamps. And the lamp was filled with oil that you would burn, right? So if you needed to study late at night, then you had to burn the midnight oil, which means to burn the oil late at night to keep your oil lamp burning so you can study. Okay, to burn the midnight oil. Okay? No, it doesn't usually mean to have fun. Burning the midnight oil means you're working hard late at night. Okay? To burn the midnight oil. It means you're working hard late at night. If you stayed up late last night to do work for your business or for school, then you could say, yeah, I'm really tired today because I was burning the midnight oil last night. Okay? I'm tired today because I was burning the midnight oil last night. And since we're talking about burning the midnight oil, let's do this one too. To burn the candle at both ends. What does that mean? To burn the candle at both ends. No, it doesn't mean to stop two people from fighting. No. So, to burn the candle at both ends means that you are working really hard recently. So, when you burn a candle, you have a candle and you usually burn just the top part, right? So, if you light the fire at the top and it burns down slowly, right? But what if you have a candle at both ends and you light both ends? Now it's going to burn twice as fast. So when you burn the candle at both ends, it means you're working really, really hard. Okay? Do we use these sentences every day? Yeah, we use them very often, Yusuf. Idioms are really great in any language, but in particular in English, we use idioms a lot, I think. Okay? And I'm teaching you common ones. All right? So when you burn the candle at both ends, it just means you've been working really hard lately. Okay? All right? So here's another good one that's easy to remember here. To break the ice. What does that mean? Hello, Relentless. Breaking the ice. No, it doesn't mean breaking the rules. Leon, you're pretty close. And Hussein, you're pretty close. And Mona, you're pretty close. Right. So, breaking the ice is an interesting one because the original meaning of breaking the ice was talking a long time ago about boats. Okay? So, let's talk about a few hundred years ago. Like, let's say the year is 1600, and you have a boat coming from another land. A boat is coming from another country to your country. But it's winter. It's winter. And so the water turned to ice, and it's frozen. Right? So the closer you get to land, the more there's ice that's frozen, right? So the boat can't come in. The boat cannot come in if there's ice there. So people used to go out and literally break the ice to let the boats come in so that they could get there, right? So breaking the ice now is something we say as a way to try to introduce yourselves or make yourselves more friendly with someone. Yeah, but originally the meaning was to really literally break the ice, to go out and to hit the ice to break it up so the boat can come in, and now you can let these new people into your land. Okay? So breaking the ice is a phrase that you can use when you're talking about meeting new people. Okay? Meeting new people. Hossein, we wouldn't say break the ice when we're talking about making sure everyone gets to meet each other. To break the ice is, that wouldn't really work with that situation because only one person really needs to break the ice in most cases, right? So if I had a classroom of people and I wanted to break the ice, so maybe when I have a new class, I start by telling a joke to make everybody laugh and feel more comfortable. And I introduce myself to make everybody feel more comfortable because they know who I am. Now I have broken the ice. Okay? Yasir, you're going to have to listen to my class today, okay? You can't just ask me random questions today. Today I'm teaching a topic, okay? Chewing the fat is a good one, Angela, but I haven't gotten to that one yet. And that is a good one, though. One moment here. There are two that are similar in that way. Chewing the fat is also related to chewing the cud. Okay, chewing the fat, chew the fat, or chew the cud. And chewing the fat comes from, it's originally a British phrase that meant to complain about things, actually. But chewing the cud means to talk about anything kind of casually, like you're not really that focused on anything, you're just talking aimlessly. Okay, because cows, chewing the cud, what do cows do all day when they eat? You see them doing this all day. That's chewing the cud, when the cows are chewing all the time, right? Well, to chew the cud or chew the fat means to talk just about anything, okay? Originally in the British idiom, it meant to complain about things. Like you're just talking to people about, oh, my work has been really hard lately and I'm really tired and the family's been really tough today, you know, and all these things. That's just chewing the fat, right? Now, I think it really just means talking about anything, okay? Talking about anything. Hello, Sarah. Good afternoon. Guys, hi. Please look at me. Please listen. Today is called English Origins, Vocabulary Tips with Teacher Mark. Today, I am teaching a class about English idioms. If your question is not about English idioms, I'm not going to answer it today. Okay? I'm sorry, but there are some days when I have a topic and I have to stick to my topic. Okay? So please listen to what I'm teaching and you will learn something. I'm sorry I won't answer your questions right now, but I'm teaching my class, so you can't just ask random questions. If you walk into a math class, you can't ask questions about English. If you walk into an English class, you can't ask questions about history. Okay? To rant. It's similar to ranting. Yeah, chewing the fat, but I think the original meaning is similar to ranting. But today, when we say, you know, we're just chewing the fat, it just means talking without any real purpose. You're just talking about something. Okay? You're just talking about something. Frank, I will answer your question if it has to do with English idioms or etymology. Okay? So, let's do another chew one. How about this one? To bite off more than you can chew. To bite off more than you can chew. What does that one mean? That's right, Mona. It means to do something that is more than you're able to handle. More than you're able to handle. Now, this one actually goes back to a long time ago. It was very popular to chew tobacco, right? Chewing tobacco was a kind of tobacco that you would take a big piece and you would bite it and then you would put it in your lip. You'd chew it and put it in your lip all day. Right? But if you accidentally bite more than you should, then you have this big You talk like this the whole time because you bit off more than you can chew. So it goes back to chewing tobacco. Okay? To bite off more than you can chew, right? So maybe you decided you wanted to learn English and Spanish and Chinese at the same time. That's hard. So maybe you bit off more than you can chew. Okay? I look tired. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. Don't worry, Daniel. Ruslan wants me to explain the etymology of the words calibrate and calibration. Sure, because it's an etymology question, I'm happy to do that for you. Calibrate, let's see. Well, that's interesting. So this is an interesting one. To calibrate. It's related to the word caliber, which is related to the French word calibre and the Arabic word calib. To calibrate something means to determine the caliber of something, right? So to calibrate your instruments means to make sure they're working properly, right? That they can measure things properly, right? But it comes from the word caliber, and caliber is a word that's actually kind of interesting. It talks about guns, right? So when you're talking about a gun, the caliber is the size of the barrel. The size of the barrel. Okay? So, for example, a .22 caliber gun means it shoots a .22 caliber bullet. A 12 gauge gun means it shoots a 12 gauge bullet. Okay, so it's about the size of the barrel. How big is the barrel of the gun, right? And that word actually comes from the Arabic word kalib, which means a mold for casting. So when you make bullets, they make a mold, and then they pour the metal into the mold. So the word caliber comes from the Arabic word kalib, which means a mold. Because that's the size of something, right? The size of what you're making, okay? I seem I've changed a lot. I change all the time. I change every day. Don't you? Hello, Tanya. TT, have you ever taught before? Okay. Teaching is a difficult job. It's one I really enjoy, but it's a difficult job. And it's actually very difficult here on Hello Talk because when you have 132 people asking you questions and many of them aren't paying attention to what you're teaching, here's another one. Here, let me teach you another good idiom. It is like herding cats. Like herding cats. To herd means to keep every animal into a group, right? A herd is a group of animals, right? Like a herd of cattle, a herd of cows, a herd of, sheep, right? And you want to keep them all together. But how easy is it to keep a group of cats together? It's not easy. So sometimes teaching here is like herding cats. And TT, I'm a human being. Nobody's forcing me to do it, but this is my job, okay? So I do these live streams so that I can build my popularity because I need private lessons so that I can eat. I'm not rich. Just because I live in America doesn't mean I'm rich. Okay? And some days I'm tired. Some days I'm sick. Some days I'm frustrated. Some days I'm very stressed out. But I still teach on those days. And so there are some times when I might get upset. But I'm just a human being. And I don't like social media where they make everything so perfect, right? So if I have a bad day and I teach and I'm a little upset, I still keep the stream on, right? Because I want you to see that I'm a human being, all right? So yeah, some days your teacher is not feeling very good, but he still shows up to teach, okay? So nobody's forcing me to do this, but I feel I have an obligation to my students. When I tell them I'm going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then I need to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even if I'm tired. Okay? I have 68,000 followers, and they expect me to be here to help them. So I try to be here, but that doesn't mean I'm always going to feel good or that I'm always going to be happy. And sometimes I yell just because people don't listen to me. Like I removed Frank something or other earlier because I clearly told him what I'm teaching about today and he didn't listen to me. So he asked his question anyway, so I removed him. If you're not going to listen to me, then I'll just ask you to leave. Okay? Hello, Soklin. Hello, Deja. Hello, Rasha. Hello, Manela. Thank you. I'm glad you like me. Not everybody likes me, and that's okay, too. Sandra, I am recording a podcast. All of my live streams on Hello Talk are recorded on YouTube. Like this one is recorded on YouTube right now. You can go to my YouTube channel right here. Okay? And all of my voice rooms are recorded for a podcast, which I'm going to be releasing next week, I think. So, I do record them. Yeah, thank you. Ruslin, I'll send you a private message, Ruslin, and I'll try to explain the word calibrate a little bit more to you because it does have a few other important things to understand about it, okay? Thank you, Rosa. Thank you very much, Rosa. I'm glad you appreciate my time. Thank you, Olga. You have to teach children every day, so you know what I mean. There are some days when you just don't feel good. Yes, you can see this in YouTube if you go to my YouTube channel right here. Okay? I'm live on YouTube and Hello Talk at the same time. So I have people in YouTube who are talking to me and people in Hello Talk who are talking to me. Okay? You saw my last video on YouTube was 7 months ago. No, that's not true. I've been doing videos every day. Maybe you were not looking at it the right way, Yon. Keep looking at it. Okay? I promise you there are many, many, many videos that I've been doing every day. I haven't stopped. TT, do you mean by open live section, you mean to invite people on the stage, or do you mean just to talk about anything? I do have some short videos on my YouTube channel. I have some, not many, but I do have some. And the lives are all on my YouTube channel. Okay? Just soul, disinterested. To be interested in something means that you like it and you want to know more about it. To be disinterested, dis means no, not. So disinterested means you're not interested in something. Okay? I try to be Robin, but it's really hard sometimes. Thank you, Chris. Okay, let's get back to talking about idioms. Can I get back to talking about idioms now? Can I teach my class now? Is that okay? Would it be okay if I teach my class? Okay, let's do some more. Here's a good one. To handle with kid gloves. To handle, handle. Let me try that again. To handle something with kid gloves means to be very gentle with someone, okay? So maybe you know somebody who is easily upset. And you need to handle them with kid gloves. You know, maybe they're having a bad day, so you need to handle them with kid gloves. So this is an interesting one. What is a kid? What is a kid? KID. That's true. The word kid does mean a child. That's the most common way that we use the word. But the word kid actually has another meaning. It also means a young animal of some kind, right? Not all animals are this way, but there are some animals that we call kids. In particular, goats. Baby goats are called kids, okay? So that's a kid. Those are baby goats are called kids. All right. And gloves. What are gloves made from? Let's talk about gloves from 300 years ago. If you had gloves 300 years ago, what did they use to make gloves? Fur, but more importantly, leather. That's right, leather. That's right. So it's the skin of the animal, right? The skin of the animal. And baby goat skin was the softest skin. Baby goat skin was the softest, nicest skin that you could get, right? And it would tear very easily. It would tear very easily. So you had to be very gentle. If you had kid gloves, if you had gloves made from baby goat skin, then you had to be very careful when you touch things because you could rip them very easily. So to handle something with kid gloves means to handle something very gently. So now we use that term anytime we're talking about dealing with a person very gently. Okay, so maybe your friend broke up with their boyfriend or their girlfriend. Your friend broke up with their boyfriend or their girlfriend, and they're very, very upset. Okay, and so they're depressed and they're upset and they're sad. So when you talk to them about something, you need to be very gentle with them, right? You need to be very nice and sweet and gentle to them. So you need to handle them with kid gloves. Okay? I'm not killing any baby goats. It's just an idiom, Siraj. Okay? I don't think they still do that, but I don't know. It's just an idiom. Okay? So, to handle things with kid gloves means to handle something very gently and carefully. All right? All right, how about this one? To make the grade. To make the grade. What does to make the grade mean? Yes, Ali, to handle things with kid gloves means to do something very carefully and gently, to be gentle about something, right? Usually we talk about it when we're talking about people who are in a fragile state, right? So if somebody is feeling very emotional or very upset or something, or they're easily bothered for some reason, then you should handle them with kid gloves. To make the grade. Does it mean to promote? Not exactly, no. Angela, you're pretty close, right. So lots of people, when they hear this term, they think the term grade means about school. Right? Grades in school. To make the grade means like you did well in school. But actually, no. This idiom is an old idiom that comes from talking about trains. Trains, okay? And so hold on. Let me remind myself of the information. Let's see. Okay, so trains, a long time ago, they had to pull a lot of heavy weight behind them, right? When a train had to pull a lot of heavy weight, sometimes they had to go up a mountain, right? And so this is flat. This is flat, but this is on a grade. We call that a grade, okay? So a steep grade is like this. That's a very steep grade. You shouldn't park your car on a steep grade, right? So to make the grade means the train is able to pull itself up this steep hill. To make the grade, right? So if you make the grade, it means you were able to succeed at that thing. You had enough power, you had enough energy, you had enough ability to do that thing. So when you say, I didn't make the grade, it means I wasn't able to do it. I didn't have enough talent, power, ability to do that thing. If you say I made the grade, it means I was able to get up the steep hill. Okay? To make the grade. All right? All right. How many languages do I speak? 42. Next question. Okay, let's see. How about this one? Eye candy. Apple tree, the word is not great. The word is grade. 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 So you could say, I couldn't make the grade, and that means I wasn't able to pass or I wasn't able to succeed, right? Now, it's easy to make that into an academic idiom. It's easy to translate that to an academic idiom. For example, if you want to get a 7.5 on the IELTS test, right? if you got a 6.5, then you could say I didn't make the grade. So that means that the grade, this is a 7.5 and this is a 6.5. You were able to do a 6.5 grade, but you weren't able to do a 7.5 grade. And yes, eye candy means something attractive, okay? So this one is actually kind of weird, right? One moment, let me remind myself of the story. So this story is actually relatively new. There was a glass artist, an artist who made glass, right? She made all kinds of beautiful glass. And she was in a very serious car accident in 1991. And she was in a coma. She was, asleep in a coma for weeks, and she had memory loss, and she couldn't remember who she was, and she was very, very scared, right? And her friends, to try to get her to remember things, her friends they brought a bouquet of eye candy, which means they were blown glass like this. Let me show you a picture. So what does that look like? They look almost like candy, right? But they're glass. They're beautiful little balls of glass that the glass artists made. So they showed her these to try to get her to remember that she was a glass artist also, right? So this is part of where the term eye candy comes from, okay? Now, today, when we talk about eye candy, usually we're talking about a superficially attractive person, right? So, some rich guy who he brings some, beautiful girl with him, right? That's eye candy. When you just look at her and you think, oh, wow, she's so beautiful. She's just there to be beautiful and make people go, wow, that's eye candy, right? But it's superficial. Maybe she's not even that nice of a person. Okay, could be a guy also, right? Guys can be eye candy, girl can be eye candy, it doesn't matter. So in this case, it's like candy is usually something you can eat, but if it's glass candy and it just looks pretty, then you can't eat it. So it's superficially beautiful. Do you understand? If you see a bowl of candy, you think, oh, yum, candy, and it looks good and it tastes good. But if you see a bowl of glass balls that look like candy, they look beautiful, but can you eat them? No. So eye candy means that you're beautiful, but maybe not particularly talented or useful or you don't have any other purpose. Your purpose is just to be beautiful. That's it. Your purpose is just to be beautiful. That's all. Okay? So a bowl of glass balls is a beautiful thing. It looks like candy, but it's not. It's just beautiful. You can't eat it. So a person who is eye candy is just beautiful, but maybe they're not really that nice of a person. They're not a good partner. They're not nice, Yeah, they're just eye candy. Okay? Something like that. All right? All right, so there's a few good idioms. Let's do a few more. What about bite the bullet? What does bite the bullet mean? To bite the bullet. It doesn't mean to die. Yeah, it kind of means to get through something difficult. To get through something difficult is to bite the bullet, right? Or to prepare yourself to do something very difficult, right? So maybe you need to take a test, but you've been putting it off for a long time. Like, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And eventually somebody says, hey, you're going to have to bite the bullet and just take that test. Okay? Now, this one has a really interesting idiom, or interesting etymology. So a long time ago, let's say you're in a war. You're in a war and they shot you in the arm. Okay? They shot you in the arm. And now they're going to have to cut your arm off. They're going to have to cut your arm off. 400 years ago, did they have anesthetic? Did they give you anything to help you with the pain? If you're on the battlefield, probably not. Definitely not. But what they did do is they would give you a bullet. And bullets a long time ago were made from lead. Lead is a metal, but it's a soft metal. So if you put a bullet in your mouth between your teeth, you can bite the bullet when they cut your arm off. So the term bite the bullet comes from having crazy surgery done or some kind of a surgical procedure that was very painful. So they would give you a bullet to put in your mouth to bite on while they cut your arm off. To bite the bullet means you got to do something very unpleasant. Okay? You're going to have to bite the bullet and talk to your mom, about your argument. You're going to have to bite the bullet and admit that you failed the test. You're going to have to bite the bullet and do something difficult. Okay? All right. Candy Girl's Russian clothing brand. Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about this one. This is for my Indian followers. You might know this one. To butter someone up. To butter someone up. What does to butter someone up mean? Yeah, to butter someone up means to flatter them, right? To give them praise and to say nice things to them, right? To butter someone up. But where this idiom comes from is very interesting. There's an idiom, there's an Indian custom. There's an Indian custom where they would throw balls of butter at the statues of gods or goddesses to try to get favor from that god or goddess, to make that god or goddess like them. They would throw balls of butter at the statue of that god or goddess. And so the idea was if you throw butter at this statue, that god will give you favor, will do nice things for you, right? So when we talk about buttering someone up now, it means you're saying nice things to them because you want them to do something nice for you. You need them to do something for you. Okay, so that idiom is an English idiom, but it has Indian history. Okay, to butter someone up means to say nice things to them because you need them to do something nice for you. Okay? Mike wants to know about the to age out of something. That's not really an idiom, but it's close enough that I'll tell you, Mike. To age out means to become too old to do something, right? Maybe there are certain jobs where they tell you that you can't work that job if you're over this age, right? Or the military, right? If you're 75 years old, you can't join the military. Probably. You're too old. You have aged out. Your age is too far out of the range of acceptable ages. Okay? To age out means that you have gotten too old to do something. Okay? Ali, I wouldn't necessarily say to butter someone up means to be a bootlicker or to be a brown noser. Buttering someone up, maybe it's close to brown nosing, but I wouldn't say it's being a bootlicker. It's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just something that you need to do sometimes, right? Like at work, right? Maybe you need to butter your boss up because you want to take a vacation and you know that things are very busy around the office now. So you butter him up by, you say some nice things about him or, wow, you look really good today. Did you lose some weight? Or, I love that new car you bought. Tell me about it. Something like that. That's buttering someone up. Okay. I think it's not necessarily a good thing, but I do think it's sometimes necessary in life, unfortunately. Okay. Hello, Kruger. Fatima, we already talked about burning the midnight oil. If you want to, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch it later and you'll find out about burning the midnight oil. I already talked about that one earlier today, okay? Go to my YouTube channel after this is finished and you can watch this stream and you'll hear about burning the midnight oil, okay? All right. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, this one is for my Egyptian followers. Does the cat have your tongue? Does the cat have your tongue? Or the cat's got your tongue? What does that mean? The cat's got your tongue. That's right, when you're speechless. Now, this one has a very, very crazy history to it. Okay, there are two possible stories about where this idiom comes from. Both of them are kind of sick. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about both of them. Do you guys know what a cat of nine tails is? Have you ever heard of a cat of nine tails? This is a cat of nine tails. This is a cat of nine tails. Okay? So, the story about this idiom is that if you were punished for, usually it's for lying or blaspheming, then they would punish you by beating you with this thing. Okay? And it would hurt so much that you can't speak. Right? Like they would hit you with it and it hurt so much that you couldn't even scream. You would just lose your ability to speak. So that's one possible history of where the term "the cat's got your tongue" comes from. Okay, There's a second one also, which is also kind of sick. A long time ago, let's see. If you were a liar or a blasphemer, sometimes they used to cut off your tongue. They would cut your tongue off. Okay? And then they would feed it to cats. Because cats were considered to be very, very, in Egypt, cats are considered to be very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Revered, right? Because they're like connected to the gods. So if you gave the cats the tongue of a liar, then it was considered to be like a gift to the gods. So both of those are kind of sick, right? But you see, you won't forget that, right? Now when you say the cat's got your tongue, it means you're not able to speak. Okay? So if somebody is in trouble and they can't speak, you know, you might say, oh, does the cat have your tongue? And now you'll remember why, because either it has to do with being beaten so hard that you can't speak, or that they cut your tongue off and gave it to the cats. Yeah. Kruger says we have this idiom in Arabic as well, because I'm pretty sure the original origin is Egyptian. Yeah. So I'm sure it probably goes back before Arabic to Egyptian language as well. Okay? How about this one? To turn a blind eye. To turn a blind eye. Also in Farsi. Oh, okay, well, there you go. See? So it has like a Middle Eastern context there then. To turn a blind eye. And Mike, did you get my YouTube channel? It's right here. To turn a blind eye. To turn a blind eye means to ignore something. Right. You're aware of something, but you're ignoring it. Right. And where does this one come from? This one's actually got a funny story to it also. During the Battle of Copenhagen. In 1801. No, sorry, 1801. 1801, not '02. There was a British admiral who's like the captain of the ships, right? He's the admiral of the Navy, right? His name was Sir Hyde Parker. And he sent a signal to this other admiral, Horatio Nelson. He told them, you should stop attacking this fleet of Danish ships, right? And they used to use flags. They used to use flags to tell people what to do. So one admiral would tell the other admiral, you should do this. Put this flag up. Tell him he should go here. Or he should do this, or he should attack, or he should retreat. They used flags to tell people what to do, right? And Nelson, he had one eye that was blind. He had one eye that was blind. So to see the flag, you had to use a telescope, right? And if he didn't want to listen to what the other person was telling him, if he didn't want to listen to the other admiral, he would take the telescope and put it up to his blind eye. So he can see out of this eye, but he can't see out of this eye. So he would look through the telescope from his blind eye and say, oh, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see the signal. Yeah. So to turn a blind eye means to, you know something is happening, but you're ignoring it. Yeah. Can you teach Nepali language? Not right now, you can't. This is an English class about English words, and I'm an English teacher. Okay? I would like to learn some Nepali, but right now I'm teaching English to everyone. Okay? Okay, let's go on. Let's do some more. How about to bury the hatchet? To bury the hatchet. If you're just joining my live stream, hello, my name is Teacher Mark. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching a class right now. So does that answer your question? I am teaching. There are 110 people here who are learning from me right now. Okay? So pay attention to my teaching and my class. Don't ask random questions. You came into my room. I didn't come into your room. You have to follow what I'm doing. Okay? To bury the hatchet. It means to forget the past, to end a conflict, to make peace. Okay? That's right. To end a conflict. So where does this come from? It comes from Native American Indians. Native American Indians, the weapon that they used to use commonly was called a hatchet. It's like a small axe. It's like a small axe, okay? And it was a common tradition to, if you were talking peace with someone, you wanted to make peace with someone. So actually, when a peace agreement was made, they would, if you agreed to make peace, you would take your hatchet and you would bury it in the ground. Right? They would bury their weapons in the ground so that they couldn't be, used. That was to bury the hatchet. Okay, so to bury the hatchet means to make peace with someone, because the tradition in America for Native American Indians was that if you made peace, you agreed to make peace, now you will bury your hatchet in the ground. You bury your weapons in the ground so they can't be used. Okay? All right? If you guys want to, you can follow my YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube Live right now. So if you run out of time on Hello Talk, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can keep watching. Okay? Ferdis says, when I follow you in YouTube, it's better because you have subtitles. That's right. I have subtitles on my VIP account on Hello Talk, which you cannot see on Hello Talk. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you can. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Cheetah. Hello, Belen. Good to see you. How are you, dear? Big hug. All right. Let's continue. Let's do some more idioms. Okay, how about this one? This is a good one also. To give the cold shoulder. To give the cold shoulder. Hello, Gunter. V. Gates. What does to give the cold shoulder mean? Elmira says it means to not pay attention to someone. Yeah, kind of. It's similar to that. Yeah. That's right. Anna says it means to behave in an unfriendly way on purpose to someone. That's correct. That's correct. Okay. So where does this one come from? It comes from medieval England. Okay. In England, a long time ago, if you were at the king's table, right, it was custom to give hot food to anybody who you really liked, right? So if your guests are coming and you want them to be happy, then and you like them, then you give them hot food. You give them hot food. But maybe there's one guest who came and you don't really like them. So you would serve them cold shoulder, which shoulder was considered to be not a nice piece of meat, not a good piece of meat. So if you serve them the lower piece of meat and it's cold, it's your way of telling them, yeah, I don't like you. You're not wanted here. Okay? So to give the cold shoulder means you used to give bad cold meat to somebody when you wanted to let them know that they're not wanted there, that you don't like them. Okay? So that's what it means. Yeah. Momro, what's your question, Momro? To talk the talk, walk the walk and talk the talk. So, to walk the walk and talk the talk, it means that you do what you say. Right? So usually, worst pickles. All right, wait a minute. I'll find out about that one. I forgot. I read your comment. Just let me find it. Give me a minute. And you got to be patient. Remember, I have a lot of people here, a lot of questions. I'm teaching, okay? And Daisy, go to my YouTube channel. You'll find many videos about how to improve your listening, okay? Right now, I'm teaching a class about idioms, okay? Go to my YouTube channel. Follow my YouTube channel. You'll find lots of videos about that. Okay. So, to talk the talk means, yeah, you're a man of your word. If I say, I'm going to do this thing, then you do it. It means walking the walk and talking the talk means that you do what you say you're going to do, not just talk about it. Okay. All right. And the question was about, to be in a pickle originally was used by William Shakespeare, and it was used in his play The Tempest. The Tempest, he used it, but he gave it a slightly different meaning. So in England, pickle refers to something close to relish. So if one is in a pickle, they're inebriated. It means they're drunk. Let's see. So when you take, to pickle something means you take, maybe you have some vegetables, right? Like cucumbers. If you take cucumbers and you want to turn them into pickles, what do? You put them into some water with a lot of salt and vinegar and spices, right? And, that's not comfortable for the vegetable, right? The vegetable wants to be fresh, but you're putting it into all this salt and vinegar, right? So to be in a pickle means you're in an uncomfortable situation, just like a vegetable is when you put it into pickling juice. Okay? Yeah, to be in a tough spot, a hard condition. That's right. So that's right. So pickle juice is salty and has a lot of vinegar and spices in it, right? So when you're in a pickle, it's like you're in a difficult situation. You're being pickled. Okay? I know, right? That's what I was just thinking, Bellin, is I love pickled things. But I guess the process is not very nice for the vegetable itself. Okay? To have butterflies in one's stomach. Yes, there is. So, this phrase, to have butterflies in your stomach, it first appeared in a book called The House of Prayer, written by Florence Converse in 1908. Let's see. So, butterflies, they fly like this, right? They fly like this. Their wings flap up and down. So, if you have butterflies in your stomach, it means you have an uncomfortable feeling in your stomach. You're nervous about something, and you're so nervous that your stomach is a little upset. Okay? Sometimes when you get very nervous about doing something, your stomach feels a little upset, and it's like you have butterflies flying in your stomach. That's what it means. Okay? It means to feel uncomfortable or nervous about something. Okay? You're anxious, uncomfortable, or nervous about something. Okay? You thought there was a cool story about pickles? Well, that is a cool story, I think. That's a cool story. Now you know that to be in a pickle means like you are in a difficult situation just because. Okay, imagine if you had to swim in a pool of salty, salty water with vinegar. Would you rather swim in the swimming pool with water, or would you rather swim in the pickle juice? So there you go. Okay? Thank you for sharing my YouTube channel. Let me put it here one more time. Okay, let's do a few more. How about to let your hair down? What does to let your hair down mean? It means to relax. That's right. So this one comes from in the old days, the 16th, the 17th century. Women had very, very, very complicated hair that was always up. Let me show you some pictures. Okay, so take a look at this. These are hairstyles from women from a long time ago, right? Look at how it's all up, right? Your hair is all pinned up. And it took a long time to do that. And it's probably not that comfortable, to be honest with you, right? So to let your hair down means you're able to take those pins out and relax. Okay? Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah, right, Anna. It means to allow yourself to enjoy something freely without worrying about what other people think. Because women were expected to put their hair up in these very, very complicated ways a long time ago, and they were judged by what they looked like. Their dresses and their hair were all very, very complicated. So the word to dress, where does the word to dress come from? Dress. It's kind of funny, this one. The word dress actually comes from cooking. To dress a chicken means to get a chicken prepared for cooking, right? To dress the bird means to prepare it for cooking. You would tie it up and you would put all the seasonings and herbs on it, and it took a lot of preparation. It was a lot of preparation to prepare the food for cooking. So now when we talk about to dress, it's from cooking, because you have to prepare yourself to go out, right? You put clothes on. And a long time ago, it was very, very, very complicated, right? For example, the word toilet. Toilet. What is a toilet? It's a restroom, right? But the word toil, what does toil mean? To toil. What does to toil mean? It's a very old word. We don't use it very much anymore. Kind of, Mira, almost. To toil means to do something that's very, takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort and time and difficulty, right? That's to toil with something, right? So the toilet is where you would go to put your hair up and make your dress really nice, and you would have to toil. You would have to toil with your appearance in the toilet. Now, when we talk about the toilet, it means the thing you flush. That's the toilet, right? But a long time ago, the word toilet was actually the room you went to prepare yourself with all your clothing, to dress and to do your makeup and your hair. That was the toilet. To toil. Okay? Do we still use the word toil? Not commonly. Not commonly. I would consider it to be one of those words, Kruger, if you use the word toil, there's no problem with it. But because it's an older word, it's kind of like using an advanced word. It's not a very advanced word. It's a simple word. But because it's old and out of date, it shows that your vocabulary is a bit greater than other people's vocabulary, because you're using words that are also from an older time period. Okay? So if I say, what were you doing today? Oh, I was out toiling with the garden. Means I was out doing all the difficult things in the garden. Okay? I was toiling with my car. Means I was working on my car trying to fix it. Okay? You can use it still. I wouldn't say it's common, though. Okay? I wouldn't say it's common. What was that? Well, that was interesting. I don't know what that was. Okay. Hello, Amira. All right, I think I have time for a few more. That's the but when people send me gifts, I've never heard that noise before. That's the first time I've ever heard a noise from a gift. That's interesting. No idea. Well, thank you for the gift, whoever sent it. But that's weird because look, somebody else sent me a gift and I didn't hear any noise. Eating a burger using a knife and fork, people know that you're German? Well, that's interesting because burgers have German history, Gunter. You know that, I'm sure. The burger is an American food, but it has a German history. Going down the rabbit hole is a good one, Angela. Sure, I'll do that one if you want to. What does going down the rabbit hole mean? Crabs in a bucket. That one might be a British one. I actually have not heard that one before. Yeah, that's a British slang. That's a British term. Americans don't use that one. So going down the rabbit hole, if you go down a rabbit hole, it means, like, for example, people do it today all the time. If you're on the internet and you read a story about something and then you say, oh, that's interesting, let me find out more about that. And so then you do another search and you read another story, and then you do another search and you read another story, and you do another search and you read another story. You are going down the rabbit hole. Rabbit holes are very deep and they have many, many, many tunnels, right? So to go down the rabbit hole means that you have kind of lost yourself down in these tunnels, okay? We use it when we're talking about, today, the most common way that we use it is when we're talking about either being on the internet and excessively studying about something or learning about something, or we also use it when we talk about conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories never have an end, right? So you keep reading about, oh, it could be this and it could be that and it could be this and it could be that. So you keep going down these rabbit holes. Okay, that's a good one. Thank you for that, Angela. Ashraf says, you don't understand the words I'm using because sometimes they're advanced. Well, sometimes they are advanced, Ashraf. Sometimes my lessons are for beginners, and sometimes my lessons are for more intermediate or advanced speakers. Okay? I have a lot of followers, and I have to try to provide for all of them. Okay? So when I do my etymology live streams, they're usually a little bit more advanced. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Okay? What does I'm done mean? It just means I'm finished. I'm done. I'm finished. And Kruger, crabs in a bucket is one I'd not heard before, but it means, according to this, it means the phenomenon where people, similar people like coworkers or people in your community, they're unsupportive or they work against each other, right? So if you put a bunch of crabs into a bucket, all of the crabs are trying to get out by themselves. They're not helping each other, right? So crabs in a bucket, like crabs in a bucket, means a group of people are actively just trying to help themselves and not working together. Like they're working against each other in a way, okay? How long have I played drums? About 35 years. Crying Wolf, Kruger, 35, not 5, 35. Crying Wolf comes from a book called Aesop's Fables. Aesop's Fables is a very famous book of stories. And one of the stories in the book is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf. And it's a story about a young boy who, he's a shepherd. A shepherd is a sheep herder, right? Shepherd means his job is to keep the sheep together, right? And one day he goes out and he thinks it's funny, so he yells to all the community and he says, "Wolf, wolf, wolf, there's a wolf. Come help, there's a wolf." But the people all come and there's no wolf, and he says, "Ha, ha, ha, I tricked you." And he keeps doing that every day. "Wolf, wolf, there's a wolf." And the people come and he says, "Ha, ha, ha, I tricked you." But then the third time there really is a wolf. There really is a wolf. And he says, "Wolf, wolf, wolf." And the people don't come because they don't believe him, because he's always lying. Okay, so the boy who cried wolf means you should not cry for help if you don't really need it, because when you do need it, people won't believe you. Yeah, it's a very old story. That's right, Aesop's Fables. Okay? All right, let's do a few more. How about pull someone's leg? To pull someone's leg. What does that mean? No, it doesn't mean to hold back. To pull someone's leg means to trick someone or fool someone. To trick someone is to pull your leg, right? For example, my father one day, I saw him, he had a bowl and he put a bunch of sugar in the bowl and he put a bunch of water in the bowl and he was mixing up this sugar in this water. And I said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, well, the doctor told me that this is good for my health." And I was like, "Sugar water? Sugar water is good for your health?" And he looked at me, he started laughing. He was making water for the hummingbirds. The hummingbirds and the bees, they like sugar water. But he tricked me. He fooled me. Okay, so to pull someone's leg, it comes from an old a way of stealing from you. So a long time ago, if a thief wanted to steal from you, they had two people. One person would trip you so you would fall on the ground, and while you were on the ground, another person would come and take your wallet or take your money. And that was pulling their leg. Was to trick you so they could steal from you. Okay? So that's where it comes from, to pull someone's leg. Kruger wants to know about let the cat out of the bag. That's actually one of my favorite stories to teach. So if you want me to do that one, I will. That's related to another idiom. I have to teach two idioms to teach that one. Okay, so to pull someone's leg means to trick someone. And it's because a long time ago, when a thief would try to steal from you, they had two people. One person would trip you so you would fall on the ground, and another person would run and steal your money. And so that was pulling your leg, was to make you fall over, to trick you to get your money. Okay? I look like Christopher Nolan? All right. Okay, so let's talk about let the cat out of the bag. To let the cat out of the bag is related to related to another one called a pig in a poke. A pig in a poke and let the cat out of the bag. These two idioms are linked in history. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story about why, okay? So let's imagine it's 400 years ago and you want to buy some food for your family to cook for dinner, right? So you decide to go to the market one day, right? And what are you going to buy today? You're going to buy a little baby pig, a baby pig. They were commonly sold a long time ago because they were, they were just common to cook and eat. Okay. So you're on the way to the market, la-di-da-di-da, and you want to buy a baby pig, but you're in a rush today. You're late. So when you go to the market, let me show you something. A long time ago, the word poke, P-O-K-E. Today, the word poke means to do this. To poke someone means to use your finger to tap them like this. Don't poke me, right? To poke someone. But a long time ago, the word poke, it meant a bag. A bag. Okay, a bag to keep something in, all right? So a pig in a poke means a pig in a bag, okay? And the pig was alive. They had live pigs, right? So they had to put it in a bag so the pigs don't run around, right? Why was it live? Because if it was alive, then you knew it was fresh meat. If it was dead, then you don't know how old it is. Right? It could be bad for you, right? So you want to go to the market to buy a pig in a poke, a pig in a bag, and you're in a rush. So you go to the market and look, I have my money here. So I give my money to the guy at the market and he gives me a bag. And I'm in a rush. I'm late. So I run home with my bag. And when I get home, I open the bag and I look inside to get the pig. Oh, he tricked me. There's a cat in the bag, not a pig. He stole my money. He just put a stray cat in the bag to trick me. And now the cat is out of the bag. So to let the cat out of the bag means that a secret is now told. A secret is now known. To buy a pig in a poke means you bought something without looking carefully. Right? So if you go online and you see a brand new iPhone 15, only $100. Wow! Only $100. So cheap. And you just hit buy. Buy. But then when they send it to you, it's a box and you open it up and there's just a rock inside. You bought a pig in a poke. You bought something without carefully looking at it. Okay, you bought something without carefully looking at it is to buy a pig in a poke. Okay, yeah. It's a fraud, but it just means you just didn't look carefully. Yeah, somehow it's a fraud, right? Like maybe you buy a car and you didn't check the engine to see if it's okay. So you bought it and it looks good, but then when you get home, the engine starts having many problems. You bought a pig in a poke. You didn't carefully buy something. You didn't examine it to make sure it's okay first. Okay? Now, there's another part of that story. I told you that the word poke a long time ago, it meant a bag, right? So a large bag was called a poke. And a small bag, like this one, was called a poquette. A poquette, or this. Poquette. Okay? So, when you wanted to carry your money a long time ago, you carried it in a small bag like this. We didn't have wallets or purses or many clothes. They didn't have pockets yet. But one day, somebody decided, oh, well, look, if a poke is a big bag and a poquette, E-T-T-E, the letters E-T-T-E, in French, that means smaller. And you're right, Shirley, because somebody a long time ago, they decided, oh, well, here's my small bag. That's great. Here's my small bag. But wouldn't it be a lot easier if I just sewed my bag onto my clothes? So the word poquette became pocket. Now I have a pocket. Right? So what is a pocket? What is a pocket? It's a small bag that they put on your clothes. Right? So a pig in a poke means to buy something that you didn't look at, because a poke is a large bag. And a small bag is called a pocket. And the word pocket became the word pocket. Okay? Yeah, I love that story, right? That's a great one. So, since we're talking about the word pocket and it said E-T-T-E means smaller, can you think of any other words in English that have E-T-T-E on them? Any other English words you know that end with E-T-T-E? Why is this so stupid? One moment. One moment, please. Okay, here we go. Here. All right, there's some here. Right. Okay, so let's talk about the words that end with E-T-T-E. In French, any word that ends with E-T-T-E on the end, it means something smaller or something feminine, like a female, because females are usually smaller than men, right? So that's feminine, right? It means smaller. So the word cassette. What is a case? What is a case? What is a case? Not exactly a bag. You're close. It's a box. That's right. A case is a box. So a cassette means a small box. It's a cassette. Look at it's a small box. That's a cassette. Okay? And let's see, what other ones did we mention here? Cigarette. What is a cigarette? It's the small white one that you smoke. What do they call the big fat brown one that they smoke? The big fat brown one is called a cigar. C-I-G-A-R. Cigar is the big fat brown one. Cigarette is the small white one. Cigarette. Okay? And what about a briquette? What is a briquette? Yeah, Salah, I'm old. I've got lots of cassettes. What is a briquette? Yeah, una briquetta. That's right. So a briquette means a small brick. Brick. So a brick is a big one for making buildings, right? When you build a building, you use bricks. Briquette is usually the small one that we use for making fire. It's for using to make fire, right? It's small, and it's like a brick, right? And let's see, baguette, a baguette. Baguette, the word bag a long time ago meant a rod. It was a long piece of wood or something that you used to make a building, and it was long. It was like a rod for making a building, and that was big. So a baguette was like a small rod. So when they used that to talk about a small bread bar. That's right. Okay. Let's see. Did we get any other words here? Brunette. What is brune? What does brune mean? What does brune mean? Brown, right. Brune means brown. So brunette means a girl with brown hair. Okay? Now we use the term brunette, and it can mean anyone with brown hair. But the original meaning was a girl with brown hair. Okay? Suffragette, that's a good one. Statuette. Statue is a big one. Statue is a big one. Statuette is the small one, right? Suffragette. Let me look that one up again. Suffragette comes from the word suffrage. Suffrage is it's an old French word meaning to plea. To plea, to beg, to plea. And what were they pleading for? The women were pleading to get the right to vote. So a suffragette was a woman who was trying to beg or plea for the right to vote. Suffrage means to plea. Okay? Bachelorette. A bachelor is a man, a single man. A bachelorette means a single woman. Omelette is it's an interesting one. Ashraf, you got to wait for that question, my friend. I'm talking about other stuff. Just got to wait. First of all, you're spelling it wrong. And second of all, it's not really appropriate today, okay? Why don't you send me a private message and I'll explain that to you later, okay? Omelette is an interesting one. So omelette, it comes from there was a French word, alamate, it means a blade, a knife. And a knife blade is flat, right? A knife blade is flat. So an omelet is a flat kind of egg that's as flat as a knife blade. As flat as a knife blade. Okay? So a palette. Palette is another good one. So a long time ago, the word palette meant a shovel or a blade. And so a palette was it's the thing that painters use. Painters use a palette. They hold that and they have all the colors on it, right? And so, let's see. Originally, well, still today, some painters, they use like a little knife. A little knife for painting. So they use a knife to they get the paint and then they put it on their knife and then they put it on the board, right? So palette was a large knife or a large shovel, and palette was a small knife. And for some reason, they decided to call the board itself the palette. Okay? Yeah, baguette, we already mentioned, Kruger. Baguette means a long rod of bread, but the original term bag was a word that was used in architecture to talk about a long bar that was usually used at the top of a doorway or something like that. And so a long bar is called a bag, and a small bar is called a baguette. So the bread, when it was made long and thin like that, it looked like a small bar, so they called it a baguette. Silhouette is a really funny one, too. Silhouette, look at this. So this one has a very interesting history. In 1759, in France, this one is for my French speakers, there was a minister of finance. There was a government official in charge of money, and his name was Etienne de Silhouette. And he was very cheap. This man was very, very, very cheap, right? So a long time ago, it was very common to have the government would pay for a portrait, right? A painting of you, right? They would get a painting of you, and it was a very beautiful painting. It was very detailed, right? But this guy, he didn't want to pay for the detailed painting. So instead, they did a silhouette of you, which was just your image, just the shadow of your image. That was cheaper. So the term silhouette actually comes from this French guy who was in the government, and he was too cheap to pay for the paintings, like a real good painting. So he would only pay for the silhouette. Okay? Vendetta is another good one. A vendetta is a private war with kinsmen. And, but that's E-T-T-A, not E-T-T-E. So it actually comes from a different root. Let me make sure I didn't miss any ones here. Hold on, be patient. Marionette is a good one. Marionette is a doll that you control with the strings, right? And the word marionette, Mary means smaller. Mary means, it's a woman's name for a doll, a small doll. So E-T-T-E means small, and Mary is a female name that they called the doll. So it was a marionette. That was where they get the name marionette from. Majorette, Anna, majorette is, the major was the male leader of the parade. The majorette was the female leader of the parade. Barrette, Hazel, barrette is the small thing that you use in your hair, right? It's a little pin, right? So but what does it look like? It looks like a bar, right? So bar is a big one. Barrette is a small one. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me find some other good ones. Diskette. Diskette is a good one. So a disk is something round, and a diskette was a smaller one that was round, right? Hello, Oyendamola. How are you? Okay, let me look at that one. Towelette. What is a towelette? Towelette. Bellin, that might be the Spanish Spanish spelling, but the English spelling of vendetta is Vendetta. Vendetta, not vendetta. So, what is a towelette? A towel is something you use to wash your face, right? A towelette is a smaller one. Okay? So maybe you go to a restaurant and they give you a small little wet towel, right? You open it up and there's a wet towel inside. That's called a towelette. It's a small little towel. Okay? Fléchette is actually French, I believe, not English. There are many ETTE words that are in French, but not all of them are in English. Gazette is one. Gazette. So that comes. A gazette is a newspaper, right? It says from the French Gazzetta and from the Italian Gazzetta, Venetian dialectical Gazzetta newspaper. It was also the name of a small copper coin. It literally means a little magpie. Wait a minute. Let me look. Oh, well, that's interesting. So, a gazette is, now we know the word gazette means like a newspaper, right? But that's because a long time ago, they used to have a coin that was called a gazette, and the price of the newspaper was a gazette. So if you gave one gazette, you could buy a newspaper. The name of the coin was gazette. So that's where we get the term gazette from, meaning a newspaper. It's how much it cost. See, there's a good story. Right? My camera is not foggy. Your camera is foggy. Laundrette. Again, Anna, I believe that's only one. Let me double check. Yeah, that's only the French word. Laundry is what we say. Laundrette is a French word only. Etiquette, okay. Etiquette. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this one. This one's good. Kruger. So the word etiquette is related to the word ticket. What is a ticket? Anyone? Bueller? What is a ticket? Thank you, Nada. A ticket is a small piece of paper. Usually a ticket is something that we get when you want to buy something, right? So maybe you need a ticket for the train, or you need a ticket for the plane, or you need a ticket. A ticket is some kind of thing that you purchased, and they give you a small piece of paper, right? That's where the word ticket comes from, right? It's a small piece of paper. The word etiquette means a small piece of paper, because a long time ago in court, in the French court, the French royal court, they used to give you these small pieces of paper that would tell you the rules of proper behavior. So the word etiquette means the rules of proper behavior, and it's because it's related to the word etiquette, a small piece of paper that you would keep, that you could read, and it would tell you the rules of behavior. See, that's a good one, right? Yeah. Does flechette mean a little arrow? Well, a fletcher, Anna, is a man who makes arrows. To fletch means to make an arrow. But I've never actually heard the term flechette used to mean little arrow. Let me double check something. Yeah, it's not in my English dictionary anywhere. It's possible that they may have used that word a long time ago, but that would be a very long time ago. So a fletcher was a man who made arrows. To fletch was to make arrows. So those words are still there. Fletching, fletcher, fletch. But flechette is not in my dictionary anymore. Kruger says every word has a story so interesting. Not every word, but a whole lot of them. A whole lot of them. And so, yeah, this is why I like to teach this, because you guys are always asking me, how can I remember words better, right? I always get asked, how can I memorize words better? Well, if you learn the interesting story where they came from, then it's easy to remember. Hazanidis says Fletcher is a name. Fletcher is a name, but there are many names that came from jobs. So if your name was John Baker, that means that probably in your history a long time ago, someone in your family was a baker. If your name was John Smith, then that means that probably a long time ago in your history, somebody in your family was a smith. Okay, Fletcher was a man who makes arrows. So that means if your name was Mike Fletcher, then that means probably a long time ago in your family, in your history, there was somebody who made arrows. Okay, there are many, many names like that. Let me find some here for you. Hunter. A hunter. But if your name is Bill Hunter, then possibly in your family's history a long time ago, your job was to hunt. Shepherd. Bill Shepherd. Mike Shepherd. Frank Shepherd. Elaine Shepherd. Maybe in your history a long time ago, somebody was a shepherd. Walker. Wright. A Wright means someone who makes something. So if your last name is Wright, then possibly in your history, your job was to make something. Okay, so there, Carpenter. John Carpenter, famous novelist, right? Probably in his history a long time ago, somebody in their family was a carpenter. Okay? Carl, I don't really follow sports. I watch Bengals football with a passing amusement, but I don't really keep up on any of it. It's not really that interesting to me. Sorry, Carl. I appreciate that you know where I'm from, though, but I'm not a big sports guy. I have too many other things going on in my life that I just don't have time for much sports. My nephews follow it like religiously, though, so I just ask them anything I need to know. Butcher. Again, a butcher is a job, but if your last name is Butcher, then it's possible that in your history somebody was a butcher. Okay? There are lots of names like that. Archer, Cooper, Fletcher, Collier, Brewster, Chamberlain, Chandler. Barber, Bowman, Butler, Carver, Cook, Farmer. So sometimes your last name is your last name because a long time ago in your history, that was what your family did. Okay? Not always, but somewhere in your history, probably. Okay? All right. Jan wants to know, why do I not understand others in English, but I understand what you say? Jan, that's because, well, it's my job. I am an English teacher. It's my job to try to speak well and to speak clearly and to not speak too fast, although today I was speaking a little faster because this is an advanced class. But it's also because I have this lovely microphone and perfect equipment to make it sound as good as possible. Okay? But I've been teaching for a long time. So, yeah. Learning English is too difficult. Jan, 如果我可以学中文，我觉得你可以学英文。加油，你可以啊！可是每天你需要试试看，每天你需要学，你可以熟能生巧。Okay, I'm going to do one last one here for Kruger. I'll do Lose Your Marbles. Let me find that one here for you. So that one began in the United States around the 1800s. And marbles were a very popular toy for children at the time. And they were used as a symbol of value or of worth. So to lose one's marbles, now it means you've gone crazy, right? You're losing your sense of, mind, right? You're losing your mind. But a long time ago, it just meant to lose something of great value. Let me see. Let me double check that origin to make sure. There's another possible origin that comes from 1954, but I think that this one comes from before 1954. There was a movie in 1954 called The Caine Mutiny. Humphrey Bogart, the famous American actor, he was in the movie Casablanca. When he was in court, he had some balls in his hand, and he would roll them in his hand as he was talking, and that's when he was like stressed out. He would roll these balls in his hand when they were talking to him in court. And so it got to be associated with the idea of losing your mind or your sanity. Okay? But I don't know about that one. That seems like it's too new. I think it's more likely about the early use of marbles as a toy, and it was a valuable toy. Yeah, think so. So anyway, you guys have to remember that etymology is an interesting thing, but it's history, and history is not always clear. Okay? History is not always clear. All right. Thank you, Kruger. Yeah, welcome to my stream. But guess what, guys? It's time for me to go. I've been here for almost 2.5 hours, so it's time for me to take a break. Okay? Before I go, I want to give you guys my YouTube channel. There's my YouTube channel. If you want more tips about how to learn English well, go to my YouTube channel, watch my videos. Please also go to my website and sign up and subscribe to my website. I will send you some information about, what I do and when I'm online and my teaching schedule and maybe some free tips. Okay? And Jan, 我住在美国，可是每天我可以上中文，你也可以上英文。每天在中国，你可以上英文。OK， 如果你去商店，你需要上英文；如果你看电视，你需要上英文。听得懂吗？你需要一个英文的脑。现在你用你的中文的脑，没有英文脑。可是你这是很重要，你需要英文脑。Okay? All right, everybody. It's time for me to take a break. I will be back tomorrow for a voice room. So make sure you follow. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have about 68,000 followers on Hello Talk. Please remember, this is my job. So do what you can to help me. I'm helping you. I just gave 2.5 hours of my time to help you and teach you. So please think of any way that you can help me. Go to my website and buy some lessons. That's a great way to help me. Maybe share my streams, share my posts. Go tell a group about me. If you're in a language group, then tell them about me. Tell them come join my streams, okay? So just remember, I can't do this. I can't help you if you don't help me. All right? I can't help you if you don't help me. Of course, Joy, history is not always clear. History is somebody's story about what happened. Okay? So let's do this. So the word history comes from the Latin word historia, meaning a narrative of past events, an account, a story. The word history literally means story, the story someone told about what happened. But stories are not always clear. Stories are not always true. Stories are not always accurate. So, of course, history is not clear because it's just a story. Okay? All right, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following. Thank you for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to be a language warrior. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.